Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. Is MSME Profit Mantra. The topic that will be discussed today is managing credit risk during uncertain times. The topic will be taken up by Mr. Nilesh Desai. He is the founder of SBA Analytics. He has 41 years of experience in the engineering industry and he has worked towards revival of 15 basic SMEs. He is currently the Vice President of Federation of Indian Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, the Telangana chapter. And he is also a part of various committees, including the RBI set of committees that represent the interests of SME units. The webinar will be moderated by Mr. Sandeep Bodhra. He is currently the MD of Business and Consultancy and he has previously worked with them. He has a professional career spanning over 20 years of leadership experience across captive and third-party capabilities. He has expertise in the areas of operations and service, talent management, ensuring customer satisfaction and quality, leading account management, and business development initiatives. Sir has a proven track record in end-to-end setting up and managing world-class knowledge services, operations, global financial institutions that are outsourcing into India. Experience of leading large teams servicing global and domestic clients in areas of asset management, sell-side firms, hedge funds, VC firms, consulting organizations. As a senior associate management consulting at Deloitte. He has a thorough understanding of the knowledge services business, including cost structure, HR, IT, training and development, PCP, and operations related to best practices. I request Mr. Sandeep Bodhra to take over.
Thank you all for the kind introduction and a warm welcome to all the attendees who are attending this very significant event and the webinar which is happening during these COVID times. So just to give a quick introduction, we all are aware, or I'm just going to touch upon the various risks which are there in any business, be it a banking business, be it a manufacturing business or a service business. There are different types of risks which are there associated, because as the inherent thing of any business is that it is laden with risks. So if we talk about the different types of risks, if I just touch upon, there are economic risks which are there. Then there is the compliance risk. We also are aware of security or the fraud risk. This which can happen within the business. We are also aware of the financial risk. We are aware of the reputation risk of the reputation and the brand name which can be damaged with the business itself, and the operational risk of competition. We are always being, let's say today, we are aware that it's very difficult to operate business silos, and possibly you may always see that once you operate startup business, you will have seen streams of other people joining there at the same time, and that's the competition which we have to be aware of. Most important thing in the midst of all this, is something which is very important to us, is the credit risk. And that's something which we are going to tackle in today's, and we would try to understand how are we going to manage this credit risk during these times, especially during this COVID time, or even further on, maybe we do not know, possibly maybe the end of this COVID season, we do not know, but it can happen further, any other things can happen. So we have to be prepared for any uncertain time, specifically now. But things that have to accept the fact that there are risks in the business. Given that there are risks, we have to understand how to plan for this risk. And then secondly, we have to understand how can we manage this risk better, such that we are much more better to handle these risks in future time. So given this the background, I would now hand over to Mr. Nilesh Desai to talk about the different types of risks which are there. We will touch upon that, but we'll delve more on the credit risk for businesses during these uncertain times. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sandeep. Good afternoon, everybody. See, as Sandeep has told, to various kind of risk in the business, I will be restricting myself to a risk involved in MSME, particularly in COVID-19 times. Generally, the type of risk which are there for any MSME business is liquidity risk, interest risk, and government policy risk, all which affect the credit profile of a MSME unit. So, I am going to see liquidity risk comes in the business because of not proper planning. How are you going to use your profit to fund your asset allocation, and what is your interest outgo, or what is your EMI payment outgo? If you do not take into consideration, you will be coming into liquidity risk. And there is a change in interest rate that also will affect your cash flow. Then there are external risks like COVID-19, government policy change, reform in labor law, and other things are going to affect your this uh, business risk. The credit risk is because of possibility of a loss of resulting from a borrower's failure to repay a loan or meet contractual obligations. Bank consider current ratio and debt service coverage ratio of the unit while giving credit. And current ratio is a very critical item for managing your working capital, while DSCR gives you your repayment capacity. So over a span of time, you will have to improve your DSCR to meet your obligations of repayment. And while determining the interest rate, there is a slowly change in the Reserve Bank policy. Earlier, they started with MCLR, and then they have gone for benchmark, external benchmark, and slowly they are changing that so that interest reduction is possible for MSME. Many people may not be aware what rate of interest their bank is charging. That may also create a problem. They trust the bank. While I advise everybody to check every quarter what is the rate of interest they are charging. Then uh, a bank also charge interest, uh, decide on interest rate according to your credit profile or credit rating with them. So people who have got ISO certification or Z certification, they get an edge over getting their pricing done properly. Then you can manage credit risk by understanding the elements of a balance sheet that impact credit risk, like liquidity and profitability ratios. If you can manage this liquidity and profitability ratio, you will be able to control your credit risk, or you can reduce and make a proper capital allocation as and when you are going. Most of the MSME sector are diverting short term for long term use, which is hampering their cash flow, and that increases their credit risk. So please understand your current ratio properly, and according to that only you allocate anything for capital formation or this thing. Don't divert short term fund for long term use to acquire credit to acquire any assets. And if you keep your current ratio and DSCR in control, you will be able to get a edge with the negotiation with the bank. Today, nowadays, banks are open for negotiating depending on your internal strength. Also, try to use and discuss with, suppose if your unit is covered under credit guarantee scheme, you can ask them to reduce your rate because they are charging fees for that. That is your negotiation skill. Then recently after COVID, government has announced 3-4 schemes for MSME. One particularly 3 lakh crore so, emergency credit line. My this thing is, unless until you have got enough labor and orders coming, this money, because they are available for 4 years time with 1 year moratorium, in this 1 year also you have to pay interest. So please be careful, take that consideration while planning for utilizing this facility. If you are standard asset on 29 February or SMA1, SMA0 and SMA1 on that day, it is not applicable for SMA2 accounts. Rate of interest also various banks are offering at a very this thing, but generally 7.5%. Those scheme is providing 9.35% for public sector bank and 14% for NBFC. Please negotiate with your banker or check the scheme. If the interest rate you feel higher and it is giving a cash flow problem, try to be very conservative on utilizing these funds. Then second thing, they have announced for subordinated debt. Most of the people, neither bankers at a senior level, at a middle level, and MSME entrepreneur do not understand what is subordinated debt. According to general these things, where main principal amount has to be paid in restructured account in 7 years time, and if you are falling short of equity, the government will give a personal loan to the promoter, which he is supposed to bring in as a equity to support this. This payment has to be done after this major payment has been paid, and there will be carrying some interest rate also. There is no clarity, no guidelines have come as on today. But subordinate debt may be helping lot of uh, NPA units, and they will have to use their skill. That subordinate debt can be up to 75 lakhs or 15% of the requirement in equity. Here also, up to it is guaranteed by Credit Guarantee Corporation of India, Credit Guarantee Fund Trust of India, and it is up to 5 lakhs of rupees, 75% coverage bank will get, and above that it will be some reduction is there. This is from papers we have come to know of it, so we'll have to check up. As our Honorable Minister Nitin Gadkari has said, the guidelines are likely to come very soon. It can go up to first week of July. So, all accounts which are NPA, they should understand the scheme and then accordingly approach their bankers. Third scheme which government has announced is for a growth company, where they will create a 10,000 crore fund from government of India, and by using various financial derivatives they can be able to raise up to 50,000 crores, and out of this fund there will be a daughter funds like AIF 2 and AIF 3 probably. They will be able to invest. So be careful, because earlier also SEDB has given about 4 years back 10,000 crore fund has been created, and in last June or July the disbursement was only 800-900 crores. So when earlier scheme has not been fully utilized, how this will be effective? Uh, uh, I am not very sure. And uncertainty caused by COVID-19 has created lockdown, and lot of economic activity has come to standstill. Lot of labor has gone back to their places. So this is the toughest phase for MSME sector. Though Reserve Bank has announced a 6 months moratorium, be careful of using this moratorium because there will be interest. Suppose if you do not use this moratorium, if you do not use this moratorium properly, if you are in a loan of 20 years or 30 years, there may be 1 year more payment for home loan and things like that. So please be sure, if required, draw the money from your this credit this 3 lakh crore scheme and make your payment regular so that you get some time. This interest on this moratorium also, as per RBI, has to be paid by March 2021. Earlier it was to be paid along with this. So be careful, make sure that you count your cash flow properly. This COVID-19 has created a lot of disturbance in supply chain, as well as there will be a tremendous change in customers behavior. So suppose if you are in a item where the purchases can be postponed, it will affect those kind of industry which are supplying to as an ancillary to this unit. There will be a chain reaction and they will take 6 months to 12 months to come. There will be also a disturbance in raw material inventory, and all that will be affected. And uh, if you are buying from earlier on credit, that same supplier may come back and ask for immediate payment. That also please take into consideration in this time. If you are able to achieve 20, 30, 40% utilization in this June or by July, you are lucky. So that be careful, count your every penny. Today's Economic Times also mentioned getting a loan appeal task for most of MSMEs. This article where Ravi Venkatesan, earlier chairman of Bank of Baroda and is a serial entrepreneur, has said by survey a lot of this thing is there today. Telangana Times also, where T. Muralidharan has come up with the 6 formulas for improving MSME in COVID time. He is clearly mentioning that government of India should come out with some policies where these officers of bank who is giving loan in this particular 1 year or something, they should not come under 3 C's, that is court, CBI, like that, so that they can take little better decisions, or they are not afraid of taking decision. This government officials should take into consideration, because the basic trust between entrepreneur and bank at this particular time is at a very low level. So affecting this thing, uh, affecting the relationship and uncertainties. Be careful, be watchful, be vigilant. Then another problem is, in this last 2-3 months of lockdown, they have to change the drawing power earlier from 25% probably to 15%, to go back to 25% over a span of 1 or 2 years. Otherwise, they will not be able to meet the drawing power. And if the drawing power is not there, the trap is already been created. So government has to consider reducing the drawing power in this time for 6 months to 1 year. In conclusion, the subordinate debt scheme that has been provided will help eliminate some of the issues faced by the stress unit. But we should be careful, understand the scheme, and there may be an attitude problem from the banker side, because to percolate down to rural areas of Warangal, where it will be very difficult or it may be time consuming. Though State Bank of India has particularly created a vertical for this very recently, 2 3 days back, though the process was going on, but still a lot of clarity has to come. This pandemic, this COVID-19, one suggestion, which are the units which are not registered today under Udyog Aadhar, please come in and avail get your unit registered. It is free of cost. You may be able to get a chance again to get your credit limit, if at all, little faster, because government is monitoring the dispersal of this loan practically every hour, particularly these 3 lakh crores. And in last 4 days or so, State Bank of India has given, Union Bank has given to 22,000 units. State Bank of India has given 5,000 crores against this 3 lakh crores. At this time, all the entrepreneurs should try to understand the best practices which are available and see that it is implemented, cost is controlled to a barest minimum, because these 3 months loss of generation of profit may take 24 months to recover the total thing over a span of time, subject to supply chain is strengthened and labor is available intact. According to one survey, labor coming back before Diwali, all the labor is possibly a very, very difficult task, unless until some of the entrepreneurs are trying to get them by plane, by whatever way, and they are sending their cars. So these kind of things are definitely helping some old laborers who are loyal to the company to come back. But there will be, in their minds and their family minds, uncertainties will be there. So this is my conclusion. Sandeep, anything else?
No, at this point in time, it is, I'm sure, thanks a lot, sir, for at least giving a capsule format of the risks which are there inherent in the business. Also touching upon the fact about government, this entire subordinated debt scheme, which is possibly the first time the government has introduced into the segment. So given this thing, I would now open the forum for questions, which we will try to answer as much the best of our capabilities. And given that we have got a first question which has come, I put it out to you. What is a reasonable debt equity ratio?
See, generally, government for MSME has worked out 3 to 1 as a debt equity ratio, but there are a lot of this thing. Our good friends of people who are supporting this, they advise the entrepreneur to go for a shortcut, and they ask for getting some over invoices. Then entrepreneur does not know what is his real debt equity ratio. It can be going down to 9 to 1 or 10 to 1, which entrepreneur does not know. This is one of the reasons I feel that units are becoming sick in 3 to 5 years time, because they don't understand that there should be a ratio which is for there should be a connection between debt and equity, and ultimately when they come in the trap, they find very difficult to come out of it. I hope I have answered.
Yeah, I think so. It is very much answered. So we would be taking most of our questions specific to the MSME. If there is anything beyond, we would say that, okay, this pertains to MSME or it doesn't pertain to SME, but MSME. But most of our questions will be more inclined towards the MSME sector. The next question which I have is how to manage risk.
Managing a risk, see that you should understand what is the risk first and what kind of risk, as Sandeep has explained. most of the people, they are afraid of financial risk, but financial risk is a derivative of some of the actions or some other risk, like COVID has affected the total economy of the unit. So you have to predict where there are whosoever has asked this question, I've got 70 or so risk which can be a businessman has to look into. Today we have discussed only credit risk part of it. There are many risks which are there. If whoever is interested, I can share that list with them if they give their name.
Okay. Uh, we have got a comment, not a question, from Naresh Bandaria sir, that it's an excellent in-depth analysis covering almost all aspects. We are open to questions. Please put your questions in the comments box. We will take up the questions one by one. So, would you want to touch upon anything else over and above this?
Sir, if you ask me, Sandeep, this is the COVID-19 is the probably all over world, and it has affected everybody. And today, Rajiv Bajaj, managing director of Bajaj Automobile, has clearly said this 20 lakh crore stimulus package will be only helping supply side of the economic. Demand side stimulus package is has to be announced, otherwise there will be a lot of mismatch between demand and supply. If the demand does not come, how the MSME units will survive? They are ultimately ancillaries to to supply this large industries. So supply side, demand side, this thing has to be created at as early as possible. Government should listen to that. And like Mr. Deepak Parekh, Uday Kotak has said the real estate sector, which is affected very largely because of labor, they should consider not holding the inventory larger, liquidate the inventory. That is what they are suggesting. Government should easen that process of reducing that inventory.
Okay, sure. Okay. Uh, there is a question which says there seems to be a huge credit gap in the MSME sector. By how much does the scheme, this entire scheme which has been announced by the government, help in reducing this gap?
So basically, our MSS sector, without a change in this definition, were given about 17 lakh crores from NBFC as well as banks before March. And at that time itself, there was a huge gap of about 55 lakh crores, which is met by informal sector. And with this 3 lakh crore, this is just a small patch which may not be even enough for losses created in this last 2 months or 3 months of this thing. Our monthly wage bill for MSME all over India, some estimate says is coming to about 2 lakh crores. So in this only wage bill, there will be a gap of 5 to 6 lakhs crores if that estimate is reliable. Very good question.
Thank you. We have Mr. Suresh ji interested when you mentioned that the specific work which is being done by SME Analytics. We would request the team to please look into Suresh ji's request and be in touch with him. Uh, that's one. And we also have a question around what is the credit default swap. Uh, this is a question which has come specific to it's basically a derivative of the credit risk itself. It's primarily a financial contract between a buyer of a corporate of or a sovereign debt in the form of bonds, which is attempting to eliminate possible loss arising from the default by the issue of the bonds, right? This is typically achieved by, issuer of the bonds ensuring that the buyer's potential losses are taken care of in the agreement. But if you want to please, get more into the CDS part of it, please reach out to me or the team here at SMA Analytics. I'll be more than happy to, get into more discussion. This has been put a question by Mr. Mudiraj. Please reach out, Mr. Mudiraj. We will be able to help you in getting more details. The question which has come is, will new Chandrasekhar developer has asked, will new technologies change credit risk management process, and how will this help MSMEs?
See, Chandrasekhar, the technological changes which is happening in fintech sector, particularly fintech sector, will definitely help to is a in between a bridge between bankers or NBFC to this that with that they'll be able to assess your financial behavior, and then on evaluation of your loan application can be better than earlier, because many fintech companies are taking not only the ratings from your past behavior of the payment, they also look into your social media behavior and your utility bill payment, which help them to analyze your credit risk better, and that also helps better to the banks also to price your loan. And it will affect MSME sector in a big way. P2P lending is going to be coming up in a great way, maybe 3 to 5 years down. There will be a very good possibility of P2P matchmaking. I hope I answered your question, Chandrasekhar.
Just to add, Chandrasekhar ji, it's that newer technologies, uh, let's say if even your usage of your Facebook, your usage of your WhatsApp, right? People look at, okay, if you are, I'll just give you an example. If you are in a group, our WhatsApp group or a Facebook group, where there are approximately 70% of the people are defaulters. They have a credit history of defaulter. It's a very much it also determines your group which you have been attached to. So given that 70% of the group which is let's say have been defaulters in the past, it's a very high chance from using technology they are able to understand. Yes, there is a very high chance of this particular person also being into the same bucket as well. So again, I'll tell you this is one example. Second, I have known of many fintech companies which go into unconventional processes. One of them is they look at, okay, uh, what has been the track record of this person? Because you must be knowing in south of India, there's a lot of people who use chit funds, right? What has been the track record of this person in his usage of his chit process, right? How has he been, let's say, managing the entire chit scheme? So given that, they also determine how, let's say, and they put a credit score to this. Ultimately, it all builds up into the credit risk mechanism. Lesser the risk, better is is the pricing mechanism. I hope we both together have been able to add value in our. There are many technologies which are available. These are different parameters we look at. And then we also have a question by Mr. Muniraj. What do credit rating agencies do?
Chandrasekhar, I think Sandeep answered you in detail.
No, there's one more question just come. What do credit rating agencies do? This is the question which has been put by Mr. Mudiraj.
I think you are a better person to answer.
Okay, fair enough. So, credit rating agencies, there are two parts to it. In today's world, there are three ways. They have broken up the entire credit rating into three buckets. One is the large corporates. One is the small MSME rating, and there are individual rating agencies also looking, and that's where CIBIL comes in. Right at the end of the CIBIL score is an individual score. So given that they look at the credit for the track record, okay, Whether, let's say, if I just go into the individual part of it, whether my credit card payments have been paid on time, my telephone bill payments have been made on time. That similarly, if I go into, let's say, MSME or the larger corporate, you would have, let's say, you have a loan, against your company. Whether the loans have been paid according to the schedule which has been drawn up. Many a times, and this is very pertinent to MSME, it's a lack of finance, lack of discipline. It is, many a times it has been seen that your payment due is on 5th of June or 6th of June. You will possibly see that the payment, though the money is lying in the bank, but the bank which has been attached to payment of the bank interest or the bank principal is not the same. So there is a thing where you have to transfer from bank A to bank B to pay that, so which has possibly been not been done on 4th or 5th, right? So which would ultimately lead to a, let's say, a default of 2 days. People will say, what? How does this 2 days matter? And it doesn't. It's not. But what happens is it all builds up in the system and it brings down your credit quality. So a
Can
credit
anybody
rating agency,
move that my voice is clear?
a credit rating agency typically looks at this model as to what is the capability of this company to pay, let's say, services the interest as well as service the principal. Given that they rate the company, so if there is a possibility of a risk, to lower the rating. If the payment capability is higher, the rating capability, the rating goes up. And based on that, the pricing of your loan also is determined, be it for MSMEs, be it for your, let's say, corporate, or be it even for your, if you're based on a civil score as well. The lower, the better your civil score, you will get a better price to it. I hope I have been able to answer your question. There is a question which has come up on, can the situation on stock exchange suggest a rise in credit risk and the possibility of
Sandeep, your voice is not clear.
Okay, there's a question which has come from Manasa. Can the situation on stock exchanges suggest a rise in credit risk and the possibility of another financial crisis occurring?
I think it is not pertaining to MSME. You are a better person, Sandeep.
Okay. Situation on stock exchange, if you could elaborate, because see that everything, the stock exchange is an underlying thing on the overall economy. Please understand that it is also, let's say, the stock market movement is not based on what has happened in the past. It tries to predict what is going to happen in the future. So if you feel that if the overall general public feels that there is a financial crisis happening, yes, there is a very much a possibility that it is going to be reflected in the stock exchange. Be it that there could be a price correction, there could be a price thing. But given this, what I can say thing is that please understand the markets from 40,000 levels went down to 25,300, but see the bounce back which has happened at 33,000. Has substantially anything changes? We want to say that, let's say, when the, let's say, the uh, average, let's say, number of new cases was 500 and now the number of new cases are 8,000 or 9,000, would it want to say that, let's say, it is a much better situation? Possibly not. But it is a thing that we are prepared to handle the situation better. Given that, yes, we are also, I want to add one more thing, that I personally feel that it is my personal opinion that we were in the possibly at the fag end of a long bull run, right? So this correction and attributing it to the COVID crisis is possibly not the right way to look at it. It would have happened one way or the other, right? So market, if you see the overall bull run, it was almost like 20,000 upside. So given that it was just a correction which was just waiting to happen. So yes, it is not attributed to the performance of the exchanges, the performance of the overall economy, and not specific to the credit risk. I hope I was able to let's say, answer your question, Manasi. If you are not, please feel free to reach out. I will be able to answer. And the question which has come: can there be a strong relationship between the quality of credit risk management process and the sources of global financial crisis?
I think it is connected with both MSME as well as corporate. There is a definitely strong connection between performance, credit risk, and global crisis, which is likely to happen, because to overcome this crisis, a lot of central bank has opened up the stimulus packages with for a long term, with 1 or 2, 3 years. The risk also is there involved in this. So my opinion is there is a strong correlation between the credit risk of underlying all corporate, government as well as MSME. This is my opinion, Sandeep.
Okay, fair enough. There's one more question which has come up. What is a corporate hybrid bond? You want me to answer?
Yes, definitely. You are a
Okay.
corporate man. I am MSME man.
I'm as much as possible trying to answer to the best of my ability. If you recollect, Sir Desai Saab had touched upon subordinated debt, and given that fact, a corporate hybrid bond is a subordinate debt instrument. It's a very much a classic case of a subordinate debt instrument in that category. So it is typically issued by non-financial companies, companies like it could be a mid-term corporate, it could be a large corporate, it could be even be a, let's say, an SME company, not MSMEs, possibly SMEs. So it is a typical example of a debt instrument issued by non-financial companies. We have any more questions?
How do we prolong?
Do we have any more questions, please?
Questions should come by everybody. Ask Amruta and all those people.
Okay. We'll wait for a couple of minutes for any more questions, and maybe after
I think
that.
that's the thing. As out of the way, I am trying to tell. We have made a alphabet for businesses, because many of the businesses, they do not understand the intricacy of the business, and once they go in, more particularly for MSME entrepreneurs, so we have developed a alphabet A to Z, where each word has connected with something in business that may be interesting for many of you, so that you can get basic information for your business and think in that direction.
I think we answered this, but once more the question has come up. There seems to be a huge credit gap on the MSME sector. By how much does the scheme reduce this gap?
This is the second time this question is coming.
Okay, maybe they missed out. If you could just touch upon it, I will ask that. More importantly, I'll ask Mr. Desai to even talk about the importance of MSME sector, just to touch upon the importance of MSME sector in India's economy. A capsule format, sir.
First line. See, there are 2-3 things which I would like to tell. Is in India we have got roughly 6.35 crore MSME, and now with the revision in the definition of MSME, which is going to be implemented from 1st July, existing medium scale industry or large scale also may come into this thing, because medium scale capital investment has gone to 50 crores and turnover has gone to 250 crores. So there will be a drastic shift from, and this number also will change. And they have changed the definition from micro from 25 lakhs to 1 crore and turnover 5 crores. And as on today, the MSME sector is employing roughly 12 to 13 crore people. The basic problem, what I feel with our existing MSME, is that they are not following, they are always asking government to give something, maybe central, maybe state, but they are not able to understand their own capacity, or apna hath Jagannath sort of thing are not coming to them. They should understand what is the possibility they can improve their cost structure. Today, Nitin Gadkari and other people, other our ministers are saying that we want to reach $5 trillion economy by 2025, and he wants 50% of GDP to come from MSME. Today we are at 30%. So if we have to achieve this growth rate, we'll have MSME sector will have to grow 27-28% annually, so that we can reach. And according to me, 1969, when the nationalization of bank has happened, the formation of the assets in MSME sector will be somewhere around 100 lakh crores to 600 lakh crores. So if we can improve the asset utilization by 5% alone, 5% alone, probably this COVID will not affect us anywhere, because that will give 30 lakh crores valuation increase in the MSME sector, and GST itself will be considerably high. Instead of depending on government and other things, look inward, try to assess what are the other things you can do. Don't go for cost cutting, go for cost optimization, understanding your own cost structure. And I am, this is a very low lying fruit. Analyze your balance sheet for last 3-5 years, understand all critical ratios, and this itself will give you the the resource allocation possibilities, which may reduce your cost by 1 or 2%, or increase your profit by 3 to 5%, which is a huge thing for our government of India. And that is, suppose if these services we are providing, analyzing your balance sheet free of cost, and we want to develop a Z score model for MSME, which will say, Z score is something which will say how far you are from insolvency. And that is a fact. This is what we are trying to develop. This will help you to force you to change your existing habit. Many MSMEs are still resisting to go for digitization, where government of India is giving lot of support. They are giving a grant. If you are, they are giving subsidy. Use that and slowly implement that in your unit. It will help you. Nitin Gadkari, our honorable minister, says that lot of units are ready to come from other countries to India, because we have got a demographic dividend available. Use that to advantage and see that we grow at a little faster rate. COVID has given lot of time for us to rethink all our processes, all our strategies, align itself. There will be turbulent time, maybe for next 3 to 6 months. Don't over leverage. Try to reduce your leverages wherever it is possible. Over leveraging will definitely harm. And in this particular time, I am expecting that over leveraging will be a very shortcut method which a lot of MSME will take that route. Avoid that. Please avoid that. That is my advice. I hope I have answered.
A question has come is from Chandrasekhar that once more that we have heard about separate entity concept. How does this impact credit risk in the MSME sector?
A very good question. Generally, SME and there are SME enterprise in India, 90 to 95% are partnership and proprietary company. So, assuming that it's a proprietary concern, that entrepreneur is not able to keep two accounts, one for himself and one for the company, and he intermingle the money, transfer from one entity to the other entity, and he has no control over it. And that is why certain units go fail in a longer term. Like other employees, he also should take a salary from the unit and manage his household expenses from that. And he should not mix these two. That will help number of units to get into financial discipline. And he should plan his personal life over a span of 3 5 years and connect with his drawing from the unit. A surplus generated has to be plowed back into the unit because he started working with 3 to 1 debt equity ratio. And if he wants to strengthen his balance sheet or clean his balance sheet, he should increase his plowback in the company so that he can go to 2 to 1 or 1 to 1 debt equity, say in 10 years' time. That will help him to overcome hundreds of COVID uncertainties. I
We
answered.
are yes.
Mhm.
Yes, you have answered. Sir. Okay, you touched upon it surely. Given that we are nearing the end of our session, I would possibly take a minute and see if there are any more questions. Otherwise, I'll possibly put a close to the event. Just wait for a minute and then take a call. Sir, you want to touch upon anything? Your closing
I
comments,
think
please.
I think I have given enough thing. It is for my MSME friends, and we are always available for any guidance, anytime. I can say thank you to everybody.
So, thank you, delegates, for joining us during this webinar, and we would have a couple of webinars in the coming month, touching upon various facets of this, in the MSME segment. And if you want any particular topic to be touched upon, please feel free to write to us, and we will be happy to take that as a topic and bring more such fruitful webinars to all of you. So, taking this event to a close, I wish to thank Mr. Desai and the team at SME Analytics, to organizing this webinar, and look forward to see you in future upcoming events. Thank you all.
Thank you all.